Hi, welcome to Tarot Combos. We have two cards that we draw, and I was thinking about this right before we started here. We are what they say in the energy of the new moon. We're a couple days before the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, if you want to call it that. And then I'm looking at my other screen because I Googled, like, what is the name of this moon, this new moon? These things feel new lately. And I want to describe that feeling in case you feel it too. Well, I just asked Google, what's the name of this I said full moon, and it said, well, it's not a full moon, it's a new moon. I'm like, yeah, I know, you're supposed to read my mind. And so it said it's the annular solar eclipse in Aquarius. We knew that because it's the year of the fire horse. So it says astrological sign Aquarius, horse. Event type, annual solar eclipse, ring of fire. The significance, I love this. Known for accelerating change, triggering fated events, and initiating new timelines. I'm getting into that lately. Like, it's meaning more to me than it used to. You know how things hit different? Particularly following the North Node in Pisces, blah, blah, blah. So, but that interested me because literally something to do with time. Now, in the past, when I've thought about timelines, it's a whole different video. We're going to get to the combos. And I'm using my Zodiac deck, which I'll probably use for the next couple days. We'll see. Because it's a new moon. What's been fascinating lately in the last couple weeks it was more like a week ago. I forget. It was maybe the beginning of this week. Time's been weird lately, let's just say that. And I went for a good stretch of days thinking, oh, this was a couple weeks ago. I remember being in the grocery store. Did I tell you this already? I was like, for a couple weeks, I was already in the year 2027. Like, in my mind, no questions asked, no doubt, I was already in the year 2027. That's never happened to me before. Now, you think, like, back when we used to write checks, I still write, like, a couple. There would be that time around the beginning of the year where you kept writing the prior year. It never felt like we were jumping ahead with writing checks. It was always like, oh, shit, I gotta scratch that out and write this year. So it wasn't that kind of feeling. It was literally like, this is 2027. And I was in the grocery store. This is one funny moment about that, is I was doing some meal prep. So I was like, buying healthy things so I could make my protein balls, So I was like, all these different ingredients. And I was at a store that had something different than I would normally get. So I was like, let me take a look at this. Is it something I want to add in? It looked like a healthy combination of seeds, seeds and good grainy type things. And I was like, okay, well, turn it around, read what's in it, and then look at the expiration, because this particular store is known for letting things expire. At least they have been in the past. Now they've gotten better, but I always check the expiration, even on canned goods in that store. And if you're in my town, So I was like, oh my God, all of these are expired. Like, literally every bag on the shelf was already expired. It was already expired. And I was like, oh my God, here we are I think we were in February, like the beginning of February, because here we are a couple of weeks later. So sometime in the past couple of weeks, this started happening. And I'm like, this says it expires February 2027. Why do they have all of this? And my head went to, well, it is kind of a specialty item, and those don't gain a lot of traction in this town necessarily at the start until, And so I'm like, the poor things, this had so much potential, and a whole shelf of it just like is wasted, just like gone. Because I'm not going to buy something that expires this month. I won't be able to use it all in time. And if you think about it, usually things have like a year-ish shelf life. it's already been sitting on the shelf a year. It's probably like not the best it could be. So I don't want to spend that money on something expired. And I went through this whole thing and I stood there going like, I was just so confused. Like, well, that's a bummer. And why would they let that happen? Like, why not? It wasn't so much about why would they let it happen. I was just like, it makes no sense why all of them expire, because I was even digging in the back. Usually there's like the newer stuff behind. Maybe it's because sometimes, a lot of times, it's just the front couple that they're trying to push to get sold before they expire, or like right at the expiration, or a little after their expiration. So I'm digging like all the way back, and I'm like, they are literally all expiring this month. What a bummer. Nobody liked this. I was a bum because I was like, the more people like it, the more they'll keep it in stock, you know? And anyway, went through this whole thing. This woman walks up next to me and she's like looking really kind of like perplexed at the teas, like the boxes of tea, which happen to be right next to this. So I was just sort of giggling at myself like, well, darn it, I don't want to buy this. And then so I take a pause and I ask her, because she kind of seems like she has an open energy about her. So I was like, do you need help with anything? And I said, I don't work here, but, you know, do you need help with anything? And she's like, actually, yeah, my daughter said, like, I should really try dandelion tea because it's got a lot of healthy, like, stuff in it for me. And I was like, oh yeah, I've tried it and it tastes healthy. Like, it's an acquired taste for me, but I like it. And you reminded me, I kind of got away from drinking it. And you know what, thank you, because now I will go and bring it back into my rotation, because I do like it. And I love the way it makes me feel. I love dandelion tea. It's different at first. So we were kind of laughing about that. And I found it for her. I like kind of guided her toward this other specialty tea section, and we kind of had a moment. And then all of a sudden, and she's like, and what are you looking for? I'm like, well, I was looking for this, but they're all expired. And then she's like, oh, when do they expire? And I'm like, February 2027. And she's like, so anyway, that's how it came to light, was like, oh, they're so fresh. They are the freshest thing in that store, probably. So anyway, I bought it, and it is amazing. It's delicious. It's like so good. But that was just one example of like how much I've been in the year 2027. Or like I'm already there. It is my reality. And so that was a big like come back. And then after that, I was like, oh my God, things make so much sense now. Like how much I've been feeling every time I go to write the year, say the year, think about the year. It's 2027. It is. It just is. And I'm like, what happened? It felt like a quantum timeline shift of like maximum proportions. And so that's what this made me think of, the initiating new timelines. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been initiated. I had to come back. So thank goodness I asked that lady if she needed help, and then she turned around and asked me. Otherwise I'd be like, oh man, I gotta go talk to the store manager and tell them, you know, those are all expired. No, I wouldn't have done that, but it would have been funny if I did. So anyway, sorry to waste your time. And I'm not sorry. It's not a waste. You can fast forward. You know I like to get into story time. You know me by now. So hopefully if you don't like story time, you're already past it. So welcome back. But anyway, that it just made me think like there's something happening, and I'm not the only one thinking it or talking about it. And you know, my skeptic brain, this whole timeline, and I've dove into like, oh, this whole quantum shifting idea and timeline shifting and go like leveling up to different timelines. I have clients that talk to me about it, wondering what I think, and me going like, me always having my little skeptic hat on and always thinking like, well, if it sounds a little too new agey, spiritual bypassy, you know, not that all new age is spiritual bypassing, but a lot of times they are connected. Like we just want to skip to the good stuff, right? And it makes us feel good to think and talk in that way. So that's not a bad thing. But I'm always like the both and, like, are we bypassing when we do this? If so, something wants to be looked at, and it'll help us move into this new energy. And that's my belief. So anyway, when I'm always trying to dismantle the beliefs too. So there's like this just in me, you know. So take it for what it's worth to you. So I feel like now I've have a new relationship with this whole quantum shifting thing, because it's happening. Like I've been feeling it more than just that 2027 year example. Even today, I was like paying a bill online, and the year 2026 was like everywhere in my like banking app and this other like bill I was paying app and everything. And I'm like, that doesn't feel right. It still feels like we're like a year ahead somehow. Did we skip a year? Because 2026 more and more does not feel like we're here. So I think that might have something to do with today's reading, because something told me to just say the things. Okay, thank you for being here. Let's finally get started. 11 minutes in. Okay, let's see what is with us today. Oh, we have the Six of Pentacles challenged by the Nine of Cups. You know, it's interesting. We had the Nine of Cups yesterday in the primary energy. I think that's really neat. You know what I also want to say is I did, like, my husband makes everything better. Just gotta say that. I always thank him. I'm like, thanks for making my life better. And I'm like, if I like feel resistance energy with like doing anything, like any project, figuring stuff out, if I feel finally I'm at a point where I don't just ram my face into it over and over and over, and it's like, stop. Hey, when you're free, I could really use your help. And like he'll come in and we'll brainstorm something, and then I get out of his way. And a lot of times he's just off and running. Even this morning when I was asking him about changing out this camera, I'm like, blah, 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 I don't need to bore you with the details. And then there was also one other thing, two things, and I was like, if you have time today, I would love like to think this through with you. And then he didn't even want to finish his coffee. He was like getting up to come downstairs, and I'm like, but wait, you don't have to do it now. You don't have to do it at all, but you like finish your coffee, dude, finish your breakfast, whatever. And he's like, no, I'm on a mission. And that's just how he is. Like, he's like loves to figure shit out. And so when he does it, I'm like, thanks for making my life better. You've solved all my problems. And then I asked him, do I make your life better? You don't have to answer. And he's like, yes. But anyway, so anyway, that's this. He helped me swap out that, remember, I don't know if you remember, but that other camera situation that was not good. It didn't even keep up. It was like trails of arms. And I don't know if it's great, but I did want to say, you know what I thought of? Oh my God, I love this so much. These little hands, they're like tiny hands that actually my husband and the kids got me. When we first got together, the kids were still little, so we had a lot of fun with the tiny hands, like just like playing with them and being silly. And so they hold a special meaning to me, that it was one of the first things that we as a newly forming family, well before the word family was even a thing for us, was like, as the kids were really little still, and like he has 3 kids and I came in, and we kind of moved forward from there. So these are really special to me, and I just kind of love having them in my visual field. They just bring warmth and happiness to me. And then also when I was thinking like resetting things up, I cleared all the clutter. Like, this desk is so clutter free, I can breathe again. And then I was like, well, where do I want the little hands? And so I just kind of put them off to the corner, put the little heart stone in there. It's like a subtle heart, like you can, it's a little bit heart shaped. And I thought, oh my God, you know what I love about this? It just struck me. I've seen it, it's obviously been here for over a year in different places. First time I've ever thought, and a couple times I've thought, oh, look, it's like I'm pretending I'm reading tarot to this person who's sitting here like this. But then what struck me today is how, and it feels so true to me that I hope you feel this too, is that with this, it's almost like I'm bringing my heart, intuition, all my energy, my being into this practice. And it feels like, and it's my deepest hope, and I do find it true with my clients, my in-person readings, I feel it from them. So I hope you feel this way too, that you are bringing your open heart to this. It's like, see how you're kind of, you're bringing your heart with you, and these are your hands. Okay, so anyway, that's what struck me. Now let's get back to the tarot combo. We have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, Six of Pentacles challenged by the Nine of Cups. So the Six of Pentacles is this energy of reciprocity, and it's like, and it's very grounded energy with Pentacles. So it feels like everyday lived experience of like giving your energy in like in the amount needed for the task at hand, the situation at hand, the people around you. You are giving you're putting your energy in, and you're thinking about balance, which is beautiful. I'm getting all the chills. It's like, it feels like maybe with this timeline shifting stuff, we're finally at a point where we recognize how valuable our energy. Oh, I'm getting all the chills. I hope you feel that too. Getting all the my earrings keep getting stuck on my. But I wanted to wear them because they were orange and they matched the cat. So anyway, it feels like we are at a point of truly feeling and recognizing that our energy matters, and it's all we have control over. You know, I don't really care for that word, but it's all we have influence over, is like how we manage our energy, how we show up in our energy, where we're giving our energy, how we're calling it back when we need restoration. Like, our energy is literally all we have. And we can get into a whole thing about what I believe about energy, but that's a different topic, about our different energetic layers down to the physical body, which is like the most dense form of our energy. So if you think about even like where I'm physically exerting myself. So anyway, all about energy. It feels like this idea of balance and reciprocity in and out, and the energy like that I'm giving out. It's not about the balance. I knew that I talked about the kids for a reason yesterday. Or was it Friday night? I have no idea. Time's weird, like I said. The youngest child was with us because they all live out of the house now. So he came over, and I came in the middle of a conversation he was sharing with his dad about something he was learning in math class, and about like ratios or something. And he said that what caught my ear was how he said that, and balance doesn't necessarily mean like a value balance, doesn't necessarily, because he was talking about how value is assigned and transacted. And I was like, oh man, I wish I'd caught the beginning of that. And because I would have been like, yes, let's talk. So, and how balance doesn't necessarily mean 50-50. Because, you know, and then you assign value into balance, and it's a whole, like, my brain just wants to latch onto that. And so we'll go there another time. And I was like, yeah, you're speaking my language, Betty, because that's what this is about. When you think about balance and you think about equality and shared resources, like you're giving. So let's say you're a parent and you are dishing out your energy to the people you care for, your spouse, maybe your partner, your friends, your kids, the people under your care, the people who you nurture, whatever your situation is. Like, you know, instinctively and intuitively that, okay, you get 20% from me, you get 20%, you get 20%. First of all, that's like an impossibility. We don't even know how to do that. But but you know that kid doesn't need 20% right now. That spouse doesn't need 20%. That friend doesn't need the 20%, equaling all the way to however much you're saving for yourself. Who knows? It's a different topic too. And it's like, you know that each person, each situation, each task requires a different amount, a different intention, a different focus. You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how, not the word how, I got distracted because my husband came back and he got me some masking tape for paper mache projects. I'm so excited. So he was like dropping it outside my door because he could hear me talking. And then I got quiet because I got self-conscious. Okay, back up. So you know that equality and balance doesn't mean the same amount for the situation at hand. Okay, so that's what this is about. I think we're coming to a point where we instinctively know, oh, energy is all we do have control over or influence over, and it's time to really double down on that, really get clear about. And it's not a clarity here, it's a clear here. It might be a clarity around goals, you know, like, oh, like being clear about noticing, like noticing can happen up here, about where it's leaking out of me, you know, where it's like I have an energy leak, like, ooh, I didn't realize that. I'm gonna shut off the Netflix for a month. That's my example. I was leaking energy all over that. And I got to call it back. So anyway, we're getting really clear on this. I think it's becoming like, oh, that's so true. I feel it in my bones, where my energy gets created through my blood, you know, however you like to think about it. Then it's challenged by the Nine of Cups. What could that even mean? This is the card of like wish fulfillment and satisfaction and contentment, like being pretty pleased with myself. You know, it depends on where on that like spectrum of usefulness or balance and out of balance we're talking, but it's like light and shadow, pros and cons. So how can this idea of like how I feel about what is fulfilling to me, how can that get in the way of being aware of my energy in and out, give and take, reciprocity? This feels like I'm trying to put words to it, to the feeling. It almost feels like something about the clarity. Hold on, I gotta ground it in. So this whole idea of clarity around what is this for us? What is our heart's desires? What would, not just desires, it's like fulfillment. And it feels like a bigger word than that I'm trying to anchor in. It's not fulfillment, it's coherence. Everything else lately keeps coming back to coherence and alignment. So let's just call it that. Coherence in your body, because that feels like satisfaction is a piece of that, contentment is a piece of that, fulfillment is a piece of that. It's like alignment and coherence. It's like, how do all the parts of me light up to say yes? Like the big body, yes. I don't know, I still don't have all the right words for it, but I think you get the point. How can we get more clarity around that, because it's in the challenge area saying like, I don't know if you've felt into it enough to get real clear on how that's going to influence where your energy reciprocity is. Because is it going to go towards these things? And how can it if we're not clear on these things? Right? I just got all the chills again. I think we're bringing it in for a landing finally. So I think that's what this is about. It's like, how are you going to get clarity? How are you going to feel into this? What does clarity mean to you, first of all? Do you feel like, I feel like a lot of times clarity is associated with like logic and figuring things out, but I think that may be why that math example came up, because I could feel in that moment with him being like that, the youngest child, so creative. He's like a blend. We've always said he's a wild card, man. We've always said it since he was little. Like, he's a wild card. And so I could feel inside of him this like fascination with that idea that, wow, things don't have to be equal to be in balance, to have the same, because everyone places a different value on things. I'm getting all the chills again. So something about all of that, like that clarity was coming in his mind about, when you have those moments of like, whoa, the intersection of ideas and like a breaking open, like, this isn't what I was expecting at all for this to be about. And like, he's like the whole coherence and internal dot connecting. I feel like what he was on was like, he was changing real time before our eyes. It was beautiful, but I tend to like maybe feel or read too much into things. Maybe that's what I was like, just like hoping was happening. But it was really neat. And so like, how like he was giving himself that time to really sit with those ideas. Have you, and are you, and will you give yourself that time and space you need? Because that's a theme that's been really with us lately. How are you carving that out for yourself so that that coherence can come in, that integration, that clarity, that big body yes that can come in and say, yes, this is important to me. And how am I going to like alchemize all of that that's like brewing in me? And it's also about listening to your voice, which we've talked about, but this feels like slightly different take on it, where it's like, inside I know what a yes path is and what a no path is in every single moment. And this heart's desires business, wish fulfillment business, is all about, my energy is going to go toward the yes. And that's all that's left for me now. Anything that feels like a no or a hesitation, I'm going to pull my energy back from that, at least temporarily, until I get that clarity, till I get the yes or no, right? Because a maybe or an I'm not sure is just like, this was, oh my God, I'm getting all the chills, was another moment of confusion is simply the body's, I see it's happening in me right now, it's simply the body's reorganization until it's like, okay, now we're going in this direction. I think that's where I was trying to say the word reorganization. Was it yesterday, this morning? I have no idea. Time is weird. About how the body, maybe it was this morning, I was thinking about craniosacral therapy and how the body's waiting for a reset. Yeah, I did talk about it with breath a little bit. Yeah, yep, I definitely have to, something's like telling me I definitely have to do a deep dive in this at another time. So it's like, when you feel anything but a yes, just pause. Trust yourself. Don't trust me. Trust yourself. When you are ready to do that, there's a readiness with everything. You may not be ready to bite into this. When you're ready, you're ready. Anything but a yes, pause. wait for the reorganization. We are creatures of impatience. Just know that and know that that's okay. And you're like, and yes, that's true. And it can look different right now. I think that's our theme this year. Yes, and things could look different right now. And give yourself that permission to pause and say, I'm just going to wait until something in me says yes. I don't know where it's going to come from. Here. Who knows? But it's something in me will finally say yes to something or a no to something. And then you have your answer, not that. I don't know what, but not that. And that is you taking care of your energy. You are all about the reciprocity. It's not going to leak out all over. And then you have those reserves so that when that yes comes, you're like, it's like Care Bear stare. Okay, I gotta go. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this one, but thank you for this is like a half-hour combo. That is not what combos are for. I gotta rein it in. That's what this year is about for me. Reining it in. We're gonna get so focused this year. You watch out. It's almost like me signaling to the universe right now that we are on a new timeline. We're already in next year, people. I love that. And by next year, guess what's going to happen? I am going to learn how to play this. See, I can't even do it right now.